Hello people, I am Sky Demolisher and welcome back for another From the Collection Fridays, a series where I take things from my collection and show it to you, my viewers. And this week it is a DC Collectibles Suicide Squad, the new 52 Harley Quinn action figure. Now part of me thinks I actually did a video on this, but then I can't find evidence of me having done it. So if I have done it, this is like the first time I've repeated something by accident. But from what I can tell, I think maybe I thought about doing one and I perhaps planned it out and then never did it. Because the only Harley Quinn videos I can see are the statues. And that was like a long time ago. I mean, I've owned this for years. I can't actually remember where the hell I got it from, but yeah, it might have been a Mighty Ape thing, but yeah, I've got no idea. So the front bubble has somewhat yellowed over the years, sort of thing, you know, as is typical. On this side you get the Harley Quinn, hopefully take that glare out. On the back there's a Captain Boomerang and a Deadshot. There is a little Harley up there. You know, spice up your action figure collection with Harley Quinn, one of the sadistic members of the Suicide Squad, based on their new designs from DC, the new 52. And then you turn it to this side and you get sculpted by Jack Matthews, and measures approximately 6.75 inches tall. Yeah, so you know it isn't sealed. Or at least, yeah, as far as I'm aware, I did unseal it. I think I may have had it on display for a short period of time, but it was a very short period of time. So yeah, you see Harley there. No stand or anything. Do get the two handguns and the giant mallet. I'm just going to leave those in place though, because you know, I don't think it's too important to have them. She's only got the single hole in the legs for a stand. She'd probably fit, like, you know, the standard old Nika stand, and that she stands okay like this. I'd imagine that the joints are probably going to be a bit tight after, like, you know, so many years and stuff, but you know, you can see the lovely colorations there and the variation between the colors, which I think is pretty cool, and stuff. So we'll pick her up and bring her in. So obviously there is articulation at the head there. I'm trying to be very careful because I don't want to break those pigtails, and there's sort of like slight, what I'm guessing is paint lines sort of thing. So you know, I don't think there's any issue with them, like it hasn't split, but it just, I think just where the paint would have been is sort of a bit different. But you can see, you know, really nice facial sculpt. Has, I don't know what kind of joints those are at the shoulder there, but you know, those kind of joints, like a 90-degree bend at the elbow. There is swivel here on the arm gauntlet, none at the hand though, so the swivel is at the gauntlet side. Yeah, sort of want to be careful with those joints sort of thing. And there's a swivel up here at the top of the bicep as well, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, old, I can see it there, it's really old style of you know, like the joints at the hip, so they've only got that sort of forward and back motion. And of course, you know, you probably don't really want to move it too much because of the paint and stuff on it. Nice holsters there for the guns. Now there is a swivel here at like the top of, or almost the top of the stockings on both sides. One is a lot more stiff than the other, so I won't go too hard on that. It's about a 90-degree bend at the knee. I don't think there's any swivel at the ankle either. So, you know, I think this is very much going to be sort of a limited posability thing, which is, you know, okay in itself. I must say that right leg, the red, is very, very tight. So, yeah, I don't want to push it too much. There's no waist articulation, anything like that. But, you know, it seems so rude, but. Yeah, like nicely sculpted corset, and you can see like what I'm guessing is the throwing knives on both sides, and she comes with like a little cape. Obviously, you know, all sculpted on. So you probably, if you wanted to remove that, probably need to remove the head and stuff. And like the hands are quite nicely sculpted. It's probably a bit hard to pick up. But like her fingernails are painted and stuff, so they're red on one side, blue on the other. You know, really matching the, you know, the colour variation throughout the figure. So like, if you're going up one side, blue, red, blue, blue fingernails, red with the blue diamonds, sort of thing. But it's, you know, sort of blue, red, blue on this side, red, blue. You know, it's nicely, you know, split. Like, you know, perfectly even sort of thing. Not a very heavy figure either, which I'm actually kind of surprised at, because, you know, most figures that are around the sort of 6-inch scale have a bit of a heft to them, and this does not. And I certainly don't think, like, it's not hollow or anything, because, you know, like, it all feels solid and stuff. I have to say, like, the stockings there, like, they've still got, like, the lines through them and everything, so that's I think really cool. And the holsters actually have, like, little buckles. Obviously they don't work, but, like, they haven't sort of skimped out on details. You know, whereas like more newer figures, you probably wouldn't have the little buckles and stuff, and this sort of stuff, I don't like. When you look at it, it's actually sort of raised. I think a lot of stuff these days, they would have just cut the corner, so it would get like the little bits of gold flecking, you know, little dots of gold, but it wouldn't actually have the moulded piece for the gold on it. So, you know, all around very cool. And yeah, there's not really much else I can say. I honestly don't really know much about the figure. Like, I cannot remember where it came from. I just remember picking it up years ago. And I'm pretty sure it was a Mighty Ape thing. If she was on display, she wasn't on display for very long. And, you know, she's lived most of her life in the box. But I do think that she's very cool, and that's sort of one of the other reasons why I've kept her in the box, because, you know, she's like a cool sort of display piece in that way. And that's, yeah. I hope you've enjoyed this, and until next time, take care of yourselves. Bye.